Before she was called a monster, Medusa was just a girl. She lived in ancient Greece, in a temple of Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war. Athena was powerful and respected, and Medusa worked there as one of her priestesses. She wasn't a goddess herself, just human, but she was kind, brave, and beautiful. People came from far away just to see her golden hair and gentle smile. They said even the sea grew calm when she looked at it. But beauty in the world of gods was dangerous. Because when a god notices you, your life stops being your own. And one night, that's exactly what happened to Medusa. Medusa's beauty was unlike anything the world had seen. Her eyes shimmered like the ocean at dawn, and her hair flowed like rivers of gold. Even among mortals, she was admired, but among the gods, she became something far more dangerous, a temptation. Whispers spread across Olympus. Zeus himself, the king of gods, had noticed her. Poseidon, lord of the seas, often watched her from afar. And everywhere she went, their attention followed silent, powerful, and impossible to ignore. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, had chosen Medusa to serve in her temple. But even a goddess could feel jealousy. At first, Athena was proud of her beautiful priestess. But as she watched how others looked at Medusa, how even the mightiest gods turned their gaze toward her, that pride began to twist into envy. She saw in Medusa something she herself could never be. Mortal, pure, admired not for power, but for the warmth of her spirit. And deep inside, that quiet jealousy grew, a spark that would one day become a storm. Medusa never knew it, but the same beauty that had blessed her had also sealed her fate one night. As the temple grew silent and the moonlight spilled through its marble halls, Medusa stayed behind to pray. She prayed for peace, for the whispers of Olympus to fade, for Athena's favor to return. But another god was listening. Poseidon, the lord of the seas, the one whose eyes mirrored the deep and whose heart knew nothing of restraint. He appeared before her, his presence filling the temple like a rising tide. Medusa, startled, bowed her head in fear and respect. But Poseidon did not come for prayers. He spoke of her beauty, of how even the gods envied her light. And when she tried to leave, he stepped closer. The marble floor trembled under his power. His voice turned from gentle to commanding, and the ocean within him became a storm. That night, within Athena's sacred temple, Medusa's pleas echoed through the stone halls. But no one came. No god stopped him. And when the sea's fury finally faded, Medusa was left alone, broken, terrified, and cursed by what had been done to her. The temple that was once her home had become her prison. When dawn broke, the temple lay silent. The air was heavy, thick with something unseen. Medusa sat alone by the altar, her eyes empty, her hands trembling. She prayed for Athena to understand, to forgive her for what she never chose. But the goddess saw everything, and what she saw was not her loyal priestess, but her temple defiled, her pride shamed. Athena appeared in a flash of divine light, her face carved from fury and cold justice. "Your beauty invited this," she said. "Your presence dishonored me." Medusa tried to speak, to explain, but Athena would not listen. Her judgment was swift and cruel. Before Medusa could take another breath, her reflection in the marble cracked. Her hair writhed, turning into living serpents. Her eyes burned with a light that no mortal could meet and live. "Let all who look upon you," Athena declared, "see the truth of corruption and turn to stone." The goddess vanished. The temple fell silent once more. And where a girl had once knelt in prayer, a monster now wept, not out of rage, but of sorrow, for her beauty, once her gift, had become her curse. After the curse, Medusa disappeared. No one knew where she went. But stories about her spread quickly. Stories of a woman with snakes for hair, whose eyes could turn anyone to stone. People feared her. They said she was a monster. But Medusa didn't want to hurt anyone. She just wanted to be left alone. She ran far from the temples, far from the sea where Poseidon had hurt her, far from the gods who had betrayed her. After many days, she found a quiet cave hidden in the wild. That cave became her home. The snakes stayed with her, hissing softly like old friends. She lived in the shadows, hunting when she needed to, never daring to see her reflection again. Sometimes she could still hear voices in the wind, people laughing, singing, living. And every time, her heart ached, because once she had been part of that world. Once she had been loved. Now she was just alone. Years passed, and Medusa's name turned into legend. People feared her, but no one really knew her story. Some said she hunted anyone who entered her land, but others believed she was protecting something deep inside her cave. No one knew what it was. Some called it a treasure. Others said it was a secret powerful enough to destroy the gods. Medusa didn't care for the gods anymore. They had ruined her life, stolen her peace, and turned her into what she was. She didn't trust them, not Zeus, not Athena, not any of them. What she wanted now was simple, to be left alone and to protect what was hers. But deep down, the fire of revenge still burned in her heart. She waited in silence, her eyes glowing in the dark, ready for whoever dared to come. And soon someone would, because this story isn't over yet. The legend of Medusa continues, and you'll find it right here on this channel.